And now we're going to show you how to mass produce the certificates following a round. During this process, the certificates will be generated into a folder in Dropbox, and they will then be available to be accessed for sending out. To mass produce the certificates, you load the round in here. Load the round, and then go to the Create Documents, Delegations, Certs, and Invitations. Most of the time, we send out one PDF file per delegation. In this case, we have about 20-some delegations here for the deli round, so it'll create 20 files. All you do is select your options down here. Now, generally, this is what we would select. We do not generally show the scores on the team certificates. That's what this option is. We generally would show the invitations, as well as the certificates for the students, the adults, and the teams. To do that, basically just select the corner, which selects all of the options. Make sure that the file, if you want to generate a specific delegation, it cannot have a file in the folder where they're heading. This way you can do part of them and come back, and it'll only generate the new ones. Anyway, you must delete the old ones before you generate the new ones. Okay. Then basically you just hit the start process, and the whole thing will take place over a few minutes. Right now I'll start it, and we'll see how long this takes. I'll pause the presentation while it runs. You can kind of see the process happening as you watch. As you can see now, we have the invitation letters all generated, and now it's working on the certificates. The invitations are quite a lot quicker than the certificates, and this one is going to take maybe 10 minutes for the whole process. Right now it's doing this. It has 2 of the certificates done with about 20 some to go. All right, the process is finishing up, and we have a couple of certificates to finish up here. The total process took about 14 minutes or something like that, and that's for a contest with a few hundred, 500 or 600 students. So each student gets a certificate. Each team gets a separate certificate. So for every 3 students, there should be 4 certificates. And then for each delegation, each adult will get a certificate for each of their jobs. They'll get 2 certificates if they get, if they're the coordinator and a debate judge, or 1 if they're just one of those roles. The process is now done, and the folder, which is found in the Certs by Delegation folder, contains all of the PDF certificates here for each of the delegations. And it also contains certificates and the invitations. And then there's a folder here that says Doc Invitations. And if you go into there, and you can see that you actually have the Word version of each of the invitations if you would need to go in and add someone. So if you open one of these, you can see that you have a Word document, and it has a list of all of the teams, and it should have a list of all of the adults too. I don't see the adults here, but anyway, you can add the adults, just type them in at the end of the list. So that's how you produce the group delegations, or the okay. There's another option you can do here to create scholar certificates. Now, when you bring this up, this list becomes much longer. It shows you 1 row for each scholar, and this will be going into the Certs by Scholar /2024 Deli. And what this will do is it will create 1 file for each student. If you wanted to email each student their certs, you could get them from this folder. This is a little less common and would be a bit more work to do. I think this has been done a time or 2 in the past. To do this, though, you just simply select the the students you want to send certificates for. Maybe you want to just send a few. You can select all of them here in the corner, or just come back and just send a few, and it'll create them in this folder here. It asks you if you want to include the student and the team, and whether or not you want to include the scores. Let's suppose you wanted to add the scores, so you could create certificates for each student that show them their individual scores. That's asking for trouble because they may come up with find some kind of a scoring error, hard to guess. But then they're produced up here in the folder, and these are all done here. So if we open these up, one of these up, we can see that we then have, in the team, we have these scores at the bottom of each row that show their individual scores. And that's what that last option did. So here's one student, Agata Sangwan's individual certificate, and then the team folder for which she's a member. And so that's what's in the student generation of the Scholar Certs. Okay, so that's how you mass produce the certificates.